Hello YouTube, continuing my little series of videos showing how I wrap handles. This is a video which I'll be showing how to use twine. This is normal twisted jute twine. In this case it's green. You can use pretty much any kind of fiber you like, including paracord. That will work almost exactly the same as this. So the first thing I do is take my hot glue gun and put a little dollop on the very end of the jute right there. Okay, I like to twist it off like there just so I can remove any of the little strands and filaments that'll form. Just push that down on there, wait a second. There you go. Now you want it facing inward like this, and then you want to bring the twine up maybe a centimeter, or for the metrically challenged among us, let's call it ½ inch. So what I'll do is, up until that point, I'll lay a little bit of glue along one side and the other side of the fiber. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, after I move the heat gun out of the way, or the hot glue gun out of the way, I'll lay a little bit of glue down there, and I'm going to wrap it like so. Okay? Okay, great. So now let me pull a little bit of slack out so I can have something to work with. I'm just going to continue doing the same thing. Just as you're doing it, make sure you're using enough glue to keep it tight, and try and keep it fairly well packed. You just don't want it to have too much slack in between the different rounds that you're doing, between rotations. It wouldn't look quite right, and eventually that could come back to bite you if, when you're shooting the bow, it could start to separate. Just look crappy. It'll look crummy. You don't want that. So don't let it look crummy. Apply the hot glue and continue wrapping. Just go round and round. Generally pretty quickly, because as you'll know, the hot glue sets. Don't worry too much about it, because once you're done, you can take your regular heat gun and you can heat the whole handle section. Not only will that allow you to get everything to stick together again, but if you need to do some final shaping of the bow at that point, that's a good time to do it. Remember, if you apply a little bit more glue rather than less, it'll take longer to cool. So you don't want to add so much that it starts to squish out between your layers of the twine, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. For the most part, you can reheat that and then just pinch off any little spare bits of glue, and that'll work just fine. You won't have to worry at all. Okay, we're just about getting to the point where I'm going to need to reheat my my hot glue gun. So let me go stick that back in the socket so it continues to heat. By the time we finish this, hopefully it'll have gained a little bit. Okay, so you see we're over halfway done. And I continue like this until you're at the final, say, we're going to end right at the crease there. So the final ½ inch or final centimeter roughly. Once we're at that point, we're going to change what we're doing, and we're going to serve it exactly like we would a bowstring. Okay, let's continue. Wrap, wrap, wrap. This is not a complex procedure. Takes a little bit of time, you know, maybe 5 minutes once you get everything all in order and once you're used to the procedure. The hardest part is finishing it, but it's not that hard. I think you'll like it. Okay. Time for more glue. This is going to be our last round of normal glue, and then I'll show you what we do for the end. Just keep twisting, 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 twisting. Okay. We're getting pretty close to the end, so I'll tell you what, I will add a little bit more glue just because I don't want anything coming off of the curved portion here, where the very terminus of the handle starts to end there. I don't want it sliding down off of it, so if I apply the glue there, that should prevent that from happening. Okay, great. So now we're done there. Get a little bit of slack, a little bit of extra material. So you want a foot, 2 feet. That's more than enough. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And we're going to start wrapping it like this. First of all, start to wrap, stick your finger out, and hold it like this. You see? I'm making a V down there. I wrap up, but instead of going around up there, I'm pulling in through the V, through the V, through the V. You see? No, that's too much. You got to make sure you have enough material. So then, what we're going to do is you take the tail and you pull it over here to the side. Okay? What you can do at this point is apply a little bit more glue. So I'm going to apply a little bit more glue here. So it's probably too much, but we can wipe away excess when we're done. And now I take that V that I'm holding and I wrap the same way that I would have before. Okay? Just wrap, wrap, wrap until you run out, like this. You see? Now you can't wrap it anymore. At that point, reach over to the tail and just pull the tail. Pull it tight. If you pull it tight enough, you'll probably break it. That's fine. Or, see, like this. Here's where the tail comes out. What I'll do is I'm going to pull on it to separate the twine right there. And I'm going to push right back down on it. Okay, so now we have the tail sticking out right there, but it's been glued in place. I cut that off, and the handle's done. Just for that extra little bit of elegance, make it look a little bit nicer. Take a lighter and just burn off any of this loose little errant strands. It'll make your product look a lot more finished and nicer. So there you go. A finished jute wrapped handle for a PVC pipe bow. You could do this on regular wooden bows. You could do this on a whole bunch of other things, but it works. Thanks for watching, YouTube. If you like this, subscribe, please. I appreciate it very much. And even if you don't, subscribe. Why not? But come and join us down in the PVC archery and crafting community on Google+. I can put a link in the show notes or just type it into Google. It'll be the #1 result. It's a wonderful place and people are doing so many amazingly cool things. You've got to see some of the stuff that's there to believe it. So come on down, visit us. We're very friendly and we'd love to have you. So thanks for watching, YouTube.